Hey guys, as we get towards the end of the year, into the holiday season, we start to reflect a little bit on things we've learned over the year, things that, new ideas that we've come up with, new ways of doing things. And so I've been reflecting just a little bit this morning on one of my most important productivity tools. And this is something new that I come up with this year in 2022. And it isn't TickTick, it's not Obsidian, and it's nothing like that. And I'll show it to you in just a minute. Hello, I'm Joshua Best. All right, so what is this important productivity tool, and how could it be more important than, say, TickTick or a task manager when it comes to productivity? Well, let me show it to you. This is a plain disposable old notebook. In fact, there really is nothing special about it. What makes it very special to me is that I actually use it. So one of the issues that I've been facing is when it comes to notebooks and journals and things like that, I follow a lot of the bullet journaling online. I follow those communities. I see all the fancy bullet journals. I don't draw. I don't make things fancy. I try to keep a bullet journal for a little while. It really wasn't my thing, but part of it is because you want it to be perfect. You don't want to mess up the notebook. And so one of the things I realized is that I would not use the notebook. I wouldn't use any notebook because I don't want to mess it up. You're afraid of ruining it or something like that. And that's kind of counterproductive when it comes to notebooks. I mean, really you want to use and abuse those notebooks. And I didn't realize that until this year, until more recently. And so that's something that I've been doing with this particular notebook is that, I've made up my mind. Hey, it's disposable. I'm not keeping this. So whatever comes up, whatever I need a scratch sheet of paper for, I grab my notebook, right? And so that could be something comes up with work. I got to jot down a work task. Sometimes it's easier with the physical piece of paper and notebook to jot it down here and then transfer it over to TickTick later. If my kids come ask me for homework help, we're doing math, and I say, hey, where's your scratch sheet of paper? And then I just grab my notebook, and that way we have scratch sheets of paper that we can use and abuse, throw away when we're done. Ideas, right? So not all of our ideas are great, and sometimes we want to write down an idea and we want to throw it away. And so I do that with this notebook, right? I can write anything I want down, knowing that it's not permanent. It doesn't need to be permanent. It's not supposed to be permanent. It's to get it down on a piece of paper and then decide. Does that warrant further action? Does it warrant being put into TickTick as a task? Does it warrant being written down somewhere else as a more permanent, for a more permanent home? Does it warrant creating an Obsidian note, that's going to be a more permanent basis? But anyways, I've been thinking that this probably is my most important productivity tool. At least recently, it has become my most important productivity tool, just because I'm able to capture everything right away. Right? There's nothing faster than pen and paper, really. We may like to think that hey, we always have our phones, we always are sitting at our computers, and it's so easy. TickTick makes it so easy to enter a task, and that is true. But still, there's nothing quicker than pen and paper. And this truly has become my most important productivity tool of 2022. So if you're looking to get into a notebook like this, there's just a couple things that I'd recommend. One is that I would get a cheap notebook. Don't go get a $20 notebook. That was one of the things I ran into before, right? You get a $20 journal, you don't want to mess it up. So get a cheap notebook. Don't get it too cheap though, right? Don't get the 10-cent cheap. Because that's not fun to use. And as they say, we should spend money on the things that we use every day. And so if I'm using this every day, I want to spend a little bit of money. So something that's not so expensive that I don't want to ruin it, but something that's not so cheap that I don't like to use it. And then the other thing that I would recommend, kind of along the same lines, is that you get a pen that you like to use, right? So something that you enjoy using. The pen could probably be a little more expensive because you will use that. You're not going to ruin the pen. But get a good pen that you like to use, that you enjoy picking up and writing with. And that's going to make your notebook a lot more useful the more you use it. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Have a good one.